So for those of you who don't know me, I'll introduce myself. My name is Ronesha Nation. I am the broker owner of Our Nation Realty here in San Diego, California.
Yes, and I am Tameka Hill. I'm a realtor out here in Columbia, Maryland. I'm gonna do a shameless plug. If you're looking to buy a house, if you're looking to sell a home, if you know about it, if you know somebody, give me a call. And if you're on the East Coast, that's me. And if you're on the West Coast, call Renisha.
For sure. Last week we had a good time. We had so much fun. People was like, yo, y'all ended it way too early. So tonight we just want to have a good time with the ladies and gentlemen that join us tonight. Last week's conversation was heated a little bit. We talked about who should pay for college, but tonight it's even better. It's even bigger for the grown-ups in the building. Tonight I want to ask the question, at what point in a relationship should you discuss bills? And then a follow-up question to that is, who's paying them? Should the women pay 100%, man pay 100%? Are we 50-50, Tameka? How you feel about that?
I think that that's something that really needs to be communicated. I think it needs to be talked about early on. And I do think that first off, everybody doesn't make the same amount of money. Your expectations has to be discussed. And so that with everybody, that changes the conversation. Right?
No, I agree, man. It's funny because we say, at what point should you talk about bills? And I think it's just different. I think, and y'all tell me what y'all think in the comments. We read in the comments, so tell me what y'all think in the comments. But I think that you need to start having the conversation lightly, but pay attention, because over time the real person is gonna show his or her face, right? So what I mean by that is, yeah, at the beginning, if this joker's struggling, his heart getting declined on the date. What's up, Meek? What's up, Ronnie? If his card getting declined on the date, that's a sign. You know what I'm saying? But I do think the conversation has to be had. Trina said clear convo up front for sure. But I think even if there's an agreement, if you just dating, it should be 50-50 or split responsibly some way. So Trina, are you saying that on dates you think that it should be 50-50 too? So I say that I'm just going back. I'm giving Trina a chance to giving Trina some time to write. But I definitely think that you need to have that conversation. I remember back in the day, my pastor said, there's feelings and then there are principles. And sometimes, despite how we feel, we still need to act on things and do things out of principle. And regardless of how people say it, relationships it's a business, and we need to act like, we need to ask those serious questions so we can know what we're getting into. Randy said, whoever invite to the venue should treat. Okay, I feel that. Trina said 50-50 on the bills if you living together. So before moving in together, when should we talk about who paying these bills? Do we get into it? Once we move in together, like, when is it a safe time in a relationship? Marriage, yes, marriage is a business. What kind of neighbors do you want? Oh, yeah. Look, Mika, I'm with you, Mika. Mika asked the question of the day. I'm so sorry. The SIP word is pay. I'm so sorry. Every time you hear the word pay tonight, I need for you to take a sip. I hope you got your glasses filled. Anytime someone is doing 100% all the time, things get tiring. Absolutely. But look, I got my glass filled up. If you hear the word pay tonight, make sure you got your glass filled and take a sip. I'm going to try to remind y'all, but after a while, Portia said we definitely got to have the conversation before we move together. I agree, Portia. I think as we talking about moving together, we need to go ahead and talk about these bills, because we missed that.
Yes,
a lot of times we talk about living together, we laid up, all cozy. I think we need to just go. Oh, Tati said she got her water. Hey,
I got my coffee.
Tameka got her coffee. I think, we might as well just do this forever. We might as well just live together. Yeah, bro. Yeah, I think that's a good idea too. But who paying these bills? So if we're talking about living together, I think that's a good time to talk about dating.
So I think that it still should be introduced before you talk about moving into each other. And not so much the bill aspect, but you need to know what someone's financial relationship is with money. You need to know that. Everybody doesn't have a good relationship with money, and you need to know what you're getting into it with.
I lost you for a minute. I think it was my signal. But I'm going to read a comment. Carlina said, if y'all don't live together or aren't actively planning to live together, then no. I feel you. You know,
Yep.
once y'all start
I like.
talking about moving in, then yes, it's time to talk. Okay. Before you move together. When you decide to be exclusive, that's a good. Hey, I like that. I like that. Is that Miranda? I don't know everybody code names, but I think it is. But but no, I agree. You know, when you start, because you dating with a purpose, right? We're dating, you know, if we I'm about to be 40, some of y'all over 40, some of y'all in y'all 20s, but we're dating with the purpose of
Mm-hmm.
eventually being married, moving in together. So once we decide that, you know, it's time to be exclusive, you know, that could be a good time to go ahead and discuss moving in together and discuss these bills.
So, okay, so uh, let's take it a step further. Okay,
Okay.
so we've talked about when we're gonna move in, when we go have the bills, and we talked about dating. You made up a
Mm-hmm.
good point earlier when you said about the park.
Oh
What was
yeah,
your
yeah, true
park?
that. Yeah. So the question was, and I'm interested in knowing what people think about this because, like we said, we can tell pretty much early on. You know, people got how they finances. If you're paying attention, you can kind of tell how people keeping up with their finances, right? But
Yes.
let's say, ladies or gentlemen, you get a person come and ask you on a date, and they say, "Hey, you know, what if we just go to the park because I'm not trying to spend all
Mm-hmm.
that money, or I'm not really trying to spend money right now. Can we just go to the park, or can we do a picnic?" How do y'all feel about that, Tameka? How would you respond personally? How would you respond if somebody told you they ain't trying to spend a whole lot of money right now, and it's the first, second date, and they telling you they ain't trying to spend no money? How you feel about that?
I would be fine, but I also think that would lead into another conversation. What are your goals? What are you trying to do? You know, if you're being very conscientious about money up front anyway, that would make me say, okay, well, you probably got your head on your shoulders. Let's have a couple of more conversations. And you know, if somebody invites you out to a picnic, to a barbecue or something like that, that's a great time to really, you can sit down and be with the person and talk to them and really have a conversation that can get answers to these questions that we're discussing. Someone said I
No,
like
I feel
picnic.
you, but I feel you. My comments froze. So can you read them, Tameka? Because I
Uh,
can't.
Someone said the best dates with no money being spent. That's what happened. I think, well, Love McCall said, I like picnics and they might be testing the waters. That's great. Alex
Mm-hmm.
Boy said, I am never trying to spend money.
Hey, I like what Love Mika said. She said they might be testing the waters. That's true. Because
Yes.
they may be trying to see who a gold digger right there. Like if I tell you, hey, I'm not trying to spend a whole lot of money, but I want to spend some time with you, but I can't, I gotta do it on a budget. And you respond like, ew,
I
that
mean, but
might let me know some
it's
things.
greater than money. Time takes all. You know,
True that.
you can learn a lot if we just pay attention. You know, we right here want to be watching movies. The movie is in front of you. The star character is right in front of you.
What happens though when, let me see, Alejandra said, I'm never trying to spend money. Go to the park and enjoy. I agree. That can lead to a great conversation. Yeah, for real. Like those are the best dates, right? When you just
Yeah,
chilling, you know, you ain't trying to impress each other, or you can just let your guard down. I think if I can say, yo, I ain't got it right now, and you like, it's all good. We don't even need no money. That says a lot to me on how we can partner.
that's so vulnerable. I mean,
Hmm.
intimacy. That's real intimacy when I'm let you in my wallet. You know, that's another level. So I do agree with you. Ken says it says a lot about the man.
Yeah. I know it's a lot of men on the line. how do you feel comfortable as a man saying to a woman, especially early on in a relationship, do you feel like it's a safe space to say, like, look, I ain't got it to be, but I do want to spend time with you, but I can't spend no money. Like, if it's a man on the line that ain't scared to say something, say, do you feel comfortable saying that? And women, how would you feel receiving that if a man said to you, like, I ain't got it? I ain't got it, but I'm trying to spend time. I'm trying to rub this edge control, and I just put in fast. We have it. He's on house arrest. What? I think there's a difference in not having money and not wanting to spend extra on excess activities. What's the difference with that? Because I mean, maybe they just that type of person, or maybe they planning for something.
I mean, once again, that's the conversation. You have to talk to them. You have to communicate, and you need to communicate honestly. You need to be able to say, hey, my next, you got a lot of people in here who are going to college, going to trade school, just trying to make it. I don't know if people realize this, but according to the market, we are in a recession. This may not be a good time to be blowing all your money.
Hey, Eric said, I would feel comfortable. It's all about being transparent, and if they can't understand that, then deuces. Hello. Hey, that's kind of like what Love Mika said. It could be a test. Rennie said maybe y'all both are just starting to get finances. Both are just starting getting finances already. Hold on, let me read that again. Maybe y'all both are just starting getting finances already. I might not understand it. If you can rephrase.
I think they're saying that we're just starting out. If you've just started out, let's say you just graduated college or high school, or you just finished up, you transitioned to it from a new career, moved to a new state. All those things have to come into play. They had a life before you.
Yeah.
So
the question for people who showed up, who are just coming in, the question was, at what point in the relationship should you discuss bills and who pays? And the drink word of the night is pay. So every time you hear the word pay, I need for you to take a sip. That one on purpose. I'm gonna take a big gulp. So you go on and drink. Fat finger spelling. Yeah, both are just getting started out. It might be a bad indicator too, though. Yeah, I feel you, Layla. I feel like it could go both ways, right? And I think that when a person bring up that if they do say, "Hey, I can't do it right now," and it could be a test both ways, right? And it could be a conversation around that in itself. Like for the man, they could be looking like seeing how you go respond, and then for the other person on the other side of the day, they could be like, the question's like, what are you saving for? What are we trying to do? Like, what's the reason why you ain't got this hundo? Because I ain't gonna lie, in California, we step outside, it's gonna cost you $200. So what's the reason you ain't got on that?
say your question again. You had went out. You hear me, Renisha?
What happened?
Say your question. Say your last question again, because you went out.
No, I said that could be. I feel like that could be a good conversation. Hey, Tamisha said, how long is I can't spend right now supposed to last? I feel you, Tamisha. I feel you. Like, okay, I can't spend right now, but that's why I say it can be the conversation could be had around that when if that situation come up.
So we had an earlier conversation. An earlier person said, Ricky said, she's been married so long. What does the young people say? Because she don't remember what happened at the beginning of her relationship with her husband. And then we had another person who said, hey, what do the married people think? So Ricky, 20 years. Woo, okay.
Congratulations.
But she don't remember the beginning. They've been good.
I like that Steve said 50-50 always works. So I know Steve, he married right now. And they've been together for a while. But he said 50-50 works. How many ladies think 50-50 works? But the men pay their own bills and the women pay their own. Hey, we going 50-50 on the bills, and you pay your stuff and I'm gonna pay mine. How many women feel like that's how or men Is that a fair way of doing business in a relationship?
No, because I think that's a fair way of looking at it overall. But the truth of it, people have different things going on in their life. Everybody doesn't make the same amount of money in a relationship.
Mm-hmm.
You
I
know,
see
and
what.
do you only value
I'm sorry,
money?
Mika. I'm sorry, but go ahead.
I said, do you only value money? Everybody doesn't make the
I
same in a
don't
relationship.
know if your phone froze or my phone. I think your phone froze up for a second.
Probably.
But Layla said, is the conversation different when one person makes a lot more than their person? If
Yeah,
if you in a relationship and somebody making 200 and you making 50,000, are we still 50-50, Steve? Are we still 50-50? Who is he paying all the 200 person? Are they paying all the bills? How we doing it then? Everybody working 40 hours a week, but the pay just different. How we doing it then?
I think it's such a touchy subject. It's not one thing is not gonna fix it for everybody.
We had to wind down. Let's touch on it. We touching on it
Okay,
tonight. Kiana said hers pay the mortgage because it's the biggest bill, and he makes more, and she pay the utilities. Okay, your 50K bill should still be your budget. I feel that. Like if you only making 50, you know, I ain't gonna say that because if I'm only making 50 and you making 200 and you over here wilding out, I'm wilding out with you. I ain't you spend I'm gonna be straight up on that. If you making 200 and I'm making 50,000 and you walking around wearing what's some brands? Gucci. You walking around wearing Gucci, Chanel, and this and that, whatever. And you think I'm about to be over here going to no, we going to the Chanel store together. Like, no, I'm not gonna be okay with that.
that goes back to we're asking people what is their relationship going to be with each other. When in actuality, what is your relationship with money?
I mean, but I might have a good situation with money. I just don't make as much. I make 50,000.
Then you need to make sure you're with somebody that understands your relationship with money and your relationship to your paycheck.
Who said? Carlina said not 50-50, but make it make sense. Both contribute at their own level. I love that. Yeah.
Yes.
Everybody contributing at their own level. So we was having a conversation. I was having a conversation with another one of my friends, and we was talking about sex and sex and standards, right? Don't fall out, Tameka. We was talking about sex and standards. Do you feel like the standards of relationship goes down when you have sex too early? And what I mean by that is, do you feel like the relationship becomes jaded, or we just doing it because we can do whatever we want to do? Why you keep quiet?
Because people are going to do what they want to do. It goes back to your boundaries. Okay, so let's just talk about it. You are both the agents. You'll tell a person, "Oh, I need a 3-bedroom house. I need to have 4 bathrooms. I want a yard. I want this." But then when it's asking you, "What do you want in the type of relationship?" you have no clue about what the other person does because you're living in land and not reality.
And what do you want? Absolutely not. Hopefully it gets better. Randy said we having sex tonight. It should get better from there. Now we talking. Look at hey,
Hey, brother.
Nina clapping. Now we talking transactional sex because we was talking about finance. We kind of evolved, Mika, on the finance talk, right? I think there's a mixed consensus, and I'll go back to the group. I think I'm hearing on the finance conversation a mixed consensus. Some say 50-50, and some say it depends on who's making what in a relationship. I think I'm on the side of it depends on, and I'm not saying that. I hear you, Trina, when you said I'm not saying that if I'm not making as much, I don't have to pay anything. We all contribute, like Carlina said, at our level. So 50-50 don't mean the same for everybody.
I agree with that.
Ronnie said, "Hey, Nina." Yes, because we'll get to know each other better as time goes by. So the next question became, do we feel like women having sex early in the relationship, first date or whatever, does it affect the quality of the relationship?
I think people have to decide what type of relationship they wanted.
Okay. So
I
we
mean,
having sex on the first night, right? Does
some
it
people
change
do.
any?
I
I
mean,
mean, I'm down with the sex on
that
the first night.
that has nothing to do with how we paying bills.
Okay. But will we do
He,
we get to the
Ronnie
point
said,
of paying bills?
Ronnie said it depends on the people. I'm I'm gonna drink to that, Ronnie.
It's scary because sometimes people feel it does. I think it depends on the people. Like Mika said, I think sex only changes things when people aren't transparent with one another and their expectations. Yeah. Expectations has to be clear from, maybe I think from the start. Because if we're dating with the purpose of, future love and future relationship, we're dating with the purpose, then we should be clear on that on the first date. And if we decide to have sex on the first night and we're not clear, then I guess at the end of the day, once we get clear on the expectations, we'll know what's going on. Layla said bad sex equals horrible relationships. Portia said she think it depends on the people. But if it's chemistry and things work out, then they do. I think that it creates more of infatuation rather than getting to know the person. I agree. While I do think that it's cool to have your independence as a woman and know that if you want to have sex on the first night, you can. I personally do believe that it does affect the quality of the relationship. I know that way back in the day, Nina, close your ears. When I was in a relationship and we had sex early on, I decided to stop having sex midway because I can tell like our relationship wasn't going deeper, and then once the sex stopped, the relationship really ultimately dwindled. Thank God for that, right, Vay? Because now you got me. Trail said I can't stay with bad sex. It won't be another date. Hey, some people, and you know what? And we talked about that too, as it relates to moving in before marriage. Do we move in before marriage? Some people say I need to test the waters. Some people say, or not. I mean, you can have sex without moving in, but sex before marriage. Some people say, hey, I need to know, and some people say that we're gonna hold on to it because that's the one thing we got to hold on to. I think it's a lot of mixed feelings on that. But Chantrell said if the sex is bad, we ain't going on no more dates. So she needs to know up front what we doing. That's very important.
I still believe you have to make up your mind before. You have to know what you're gonna get into. We are like I'm close to 40. I am too old just for a lot of things. I'm just too old. So I
Too
can't
old for what?
I, I'm too old for the question mark, right? And I don't need at this point in time. Um, I am answering the questions, right? If I'm saying what am I willing to do, I know what is somebody else willing to do. I have to turn around and ask myself that same question: what am I willing to do? What am I willing to put out? What am I willing to put up with? Uh, what am I bringing to the table? Because if you want somebody else to answer those questions, you need to be able to answer them yourself. And if they don't align, you're not going to go. You shouldn't go. You should trust your judgment. I like that. Communicate, communicate, communicate.
Yeah, that's
Yes,
true.
the big factor. Like
But
I am.
sometimes when you having sex, I believe that communication sometimes can break down because we get caught up in la la land. And like I was saying earlier, we get caught up in our feelings and we don't focus on what needs to be talked about.
So we talked last week, and I told you hope is bad. You know, hope can really mess you up. You hope on something, hope with someone. In reality, it is not true. We really need to learn to deal with reality. I had to learn to deal with reality, and so once you learn what reality is, you know better. I could hope all day that you're gonna be the one. I could hope all day that things
Froze again.
work out, but
But I agree with that. It was kind of like what we talked about at the beginning. From the very first date, we set expectations on what our intentions are. But that goes, it kind of is what I said too, man, because we can have these real conversations, but at the beginning, first date, people always have their best face on. So at what point do you feel you start at what point do you feel you start to see people's true colors? Because I know on the first date, I know all the words to say, especially if my intentions are on having sex. Like, I know what I need to say. So right back. Mm-hmm. I know what I need to say, right? So if you're on the first date, but at what point do you feel like you really start to see people's true colors and to know what's real and what's first date talk?
You start you first colors when you stop living in la la land. You need to be real and honest with yourself, because you're saying someone can put on a picture, someone can put on a show, they can present themselves to be all these things and not really be. I had a girl tell me, a lady told me one time, and it was so true. I was like, I couldn't see that. I wouldn't never. And you know what she told me? She said, you didn't see it because you didn't want to see it. I was my problem of why I couldn't see it. That person was showing me the whole time. That was a me problem, not a them problem.
100% first generation. I think that intentions are known. Hold on one second. I'm trying to go back and read some comments. Give me a second, y'all.
So,
Age is a big factor. Yeah, I do think so. Age can be a big factor, but I know 45-year-old people who still be lying, still be flexing, still be
yeah,
flashing money and acting like they got it, and they struggling, asking me to borrow $20.
and all of that is really okay because you don't wake up to them, right? And the people who are choosing to be in a relationship with them, they have to be willing to accept what's going on with that. Once you figure out whether you've been with them intimately or not, once you identify that it's not working for you, you have to be able to cut ties.
No, true that. And sometimes we let that go too long, like because we
Well, I mean,
we we so we so
yeah,
we off that emotions, we off that potential. We love a potential, don't we? We love a potential, honey. We gonna
it's
stay with that potential until you left with nothing. We stand with some potential. Tamisha said, "I think intentions are known before the first date because you've had conversations prior." True, because we've already determined, our group. We already determined that we're gonna start talking about what our expectations and intentions are early on. So I agree with that, Tanisha. Tamisha, dating after another relationship or marriage is different than dating at 25. Yeah, when you've been through some things, you go into that relationship with a lot more caution. I agree with you on that, Layla. Trini said, Amen. I learned the hard way. No longer dealing with folks based on potential. It's been 2 years online. Hey, sorry. So, hey, this potential conversation, I got to ask this question, right? So, ladies, because we see situations where, can you please get rid of that dog? What? No, just joking. No, no. You see situations where you got this guy who is an athlete. Let's say he's an athlete. He played basketball and he's trying to get to the NBA. Or better yet, he a rapper. And he done did some performances and then brought home a few big checks. At what point do we say we're supporting them and we got their back? Or what point do we say we're supporting them because they ain't bringing in our money and then we're holding on to that potential? We went too far into the potential zone versus the support zone.
okay. Is is it your intentions to stay with them as they're getting those checks? Is it your
Yeah.
intent to marry that person? You know,
Yeah. I mean, I ain't making sure you eat for nothing.
okay, so now you're entering into an agreement with somebody and you're okay with the potential because you're only with them or large part for the potential.
No, I'm with them because I love them and I support them because I believe in their potential. But
Okay.
when did we take it too far?
Well, are you living with the person?
No, man.
The,
My boo living in hope. No, just asking. Let me see if I go to it's a potential checks though. It's potential
he said
checks though.
sex and is in the Air Force and went to your high school.
He worked his way in the Air Force, went to your high school. Are they 45-year-old rappers? Hey, it's some 45-year-old folks still on my social media talking about they rapping. I can get behind the person at 20. I can't get behind the rapper at 43.
Can a 20-year-old get behind another 20-year-old? If let's pause. If you are struggling to take care of yourself, how then do you take care of another individual?
Hello.
That is unfair to the person who says, "Oh, why can't you support me?" If I can't support myself, how am I supporting you? That's just rude. Let's say we are living together and I'm the only one, and there's only one person supporting it. The other person can't contribute. Okay, so then they mad. Okay, well, why did you only buy 1-ply tissue instead of 2-ply? Because we don't have enough money for 2-ply. Or insurance, water, light, gas. It keeps coming. It doesn't turn off. That's not potential. That's a reality.
That's real stuff, yeah. And let me flip that. You know, we talking about, you know, me supporting you. I feel like, and I think we had this conversation a little while ago, I feel like if you are in that potential state and you don't have yourself together, you don't need to be entering into a relationship. It hopes that somebody go back you up. Like, get your stuff together. We can be friends while I'm on my grind. We can be friends while I'm in the studio. But right now I'm in the studio and I ain't made it where I need to be at. So I need to focus on myself. But that's just my thoughts. Trinity said facts. Trinity said it would be easy to get caught up with a person when you see them already making moves, but that potential can. You holding it down for them, hoping things plan out. Yeah, you taking a risk. Like you said, you holding it down, you hoping things plan out. You taking a risk. And also, I sometimes feel like Trevor Noah said, how did he put it? The black tax. But in this situation, I feel like, you know, when you have that extra weight on you, it's harder for you to rise up. So you're holding this person down. How many times we seen a situation where I'm holding this person down, they get themselves together, and now all of a sudden I'm not on their level no more. They done moved on. They done found the next hot thing after I done spent years building them up. How many times have y'all seen that before?
I have personally seen that, but I will also say, you know, it takes a lot of communication.
I'm drinking off the pay.
Pay.
No, I agree. It does, but you never know how that person is gonna be when they get to where, you know, you're helping them get to.
I don't, and real talk, you cannot blame yourself for helping someone out because you did what you felt was right at that time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
right.
I think we need to hold people to a standard though, like real talk, and I think it's women as a whole, because a group of women kind of create a standard for all of us women. So I kind of feel like this is an opportunity for us to band together right now, right here, right now. We saying, get yourself together before you try to get with me. I can't get with you until you got yourself together.
Well, I'm gonna need you to get yourself together before you put yourself on the market.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yes. You need to be okay with yourself.
Monty said, I believe in building myself up and getting myself together before I can contribute to someone else. I feel that, because people, you know, they'll hold you down. They'll, you know, it. Kiana said, I love sisters. Let me see what I missed. Yep. And the whole time you and the rapper haven't discussed the bills, like Karen and Zach on sisters. That's hey, Karen held Zach down off potential, and then he got the money and gave it all to Fatima. Yeah, I think women hold the standard. We do hold a standard, man. We give away so much power. As a whole, we do. I think.
Yeah, I will also say, I'm gonna play devil's advocate. On the flip side of that, you have a lot of women that's made it very successful. I stay near DC. There's a lot of successful women here that are single.
Yeah, I'm not. Now, let me say this for a fact.
So
I don't think you're always going to have a person on your level of success. By success, I say by the standard of, you know,
monetary value,
social standards, right? I'm not saying that if you are at a certain level of wealth, you can't date somebody that's making 50,000, because obviously I honestly believe in that. But I also believe that person has a responsibility to contribute to you Maybe it's not financial, but I do
Yes.
believe that they have to contribute to you an equal amount that you contribute to them. And I'm not saying that 50-50 money zone, but if they can't hold down this money, there has to be some fulfillment, a lot more fulfillment that you're getting into that relationship. No, it is equal. Standards are the person who set them for themselves.
I like Ronnie.
Any relationship is a risk. I agree. A risk. You never know how it's gonna end up. And we go in, get putting our whole heart on the line, and that thing may not last. But hey, we gave it a good shot. I feel you. It's always a risk, and we always got to just give our 100. So I was watching Instagram today, right? And I seen back to ladies and standards and all this stuff, right? And I seen Tiana Taylor. She did this thing called Bumble Presents Love to See It on YouTube, right? And she had Lori Harvey on the show with her today. It was her first show, and she had Lori Harvey. And you know, Lori was talking about relationships and all these different things, and she talked about, you know, treating herself. And I got to thinking, why did we dog, not we, but why did people, especially the ladies, dog Lori Harvey out, decided she was not gonna get married to what's his Wakanda Forever? What's
Did
his
he,
name?
Michael B. Jordan, did he
Yeah.
propose?
I mean, that's what I heard. I don't know. The folks said the man talked about proposing and she said she was out the door.
Okay.
And then all of a sudden
Talking
folks started
about,
going crazy on her.
talking about proposing and getting married and getting a ring on one knee. That's two different conversations.
Okay. But why do people dog her out though? I don't understand
Because
that.
they're not kind.
They just
That's
did it. That's why do people dog out? Okay, let me ask another question then. We all, and I'm not trying to bring up the slap itself, right? But I do want to just bring up women in their power, right? With Jada. So we all know they talked about them having a open relationship, right? And what's his name? August. I seen the guy and his feelings got all emotional, and then everybody started dogging out Jada. Will slapped old boy on the stage, and everybody started dogging out Jada. I guess my question is, why does the woman always seem to be the easy punching bag, the easy target when it comes to dealing with those type of situations?
I think for Jada, um, I think the red table talk, I think the entanglement, Will in his book, there's been tons of interviews. Like there has been a lot of conversation. They've taken up a lot of bandwidth,
Mm-hmm. I
you know,
agree.
and they've aired out a lot of their personal business, and they're okay with that. You
Mm-hmm.
know, with that comes a lot of
Scrutiny.
feedback, you know, and all of it's not going to be positive. And personally, I think Will could not take the feedback that he received that night. I think it just had been building. And, you know, part of it, he looked, he laughed, and then he looked, and then he said, okay, that's too much. That's, you know, but that's a level that he had signed up for. There's a lot going for you to do what you did, because I do not agree with hitting somebody and putting your hands on somebody, especially in that setting. Like that person had done nothing to you. It really does show that you are out of control. And we all have had moments of anger, moments of issues. I'm not saying that he should go to jail. I'm not saying any of that, but I do believe that, you know, she had aired out a lot of their stuff. They had made
Okay,
us.
yeah. That's what Dewana said. Dewana said Jada did things in public that should have been with just her and her husband. But did Jada do that, or did August force her into that situation? I don't think she wanted to talk about her entanglement.
She didn't have to. She could have just not talked about it. She didn't owe. Who owes a conversation to anybody? They don't.
No. You're right, but I think that the reason why she did it is because she brings people to the red table to talk about their business, and now her business is in the street, and she want to all of a sudden be quiet about it.
That's like Oprah being interviewed. Not going to happen on the Oprah Winfrey Show. She
Yeah,
is.
Oprah don't give a damn. She not answering to nobody. Yeah, Oprah don't give a damn. She said, I think the issue was I know Lori knew way before dating him a year that she was not gonna marry Michael. I guess that goes back to our original conversation. Did they have that expectation talk? What was our reason for dating up front? When he put it out there, it was fair game. I don't understand that comment. I think I might have missed something.
No,
Leader, ask advice from a 38-year-old married couple. Said one thing is to keep your personal business personal. I think for years they did keep it personal. I mean, my whole thing is this, right? Now, obviously, I'm on the side of Jada. I ride for Jada. I ride for Lori. Yes, I am. I do ride for the women all the time. I'm gonna find a way. But
oh, well,
anyway,
in
I
opposition,
think that they did for the longest keep that stuff, but they also acknowledged the fact that they had an open relationship. But when and people can maybe because Will's stuff didn't get put out in public, we would be idiots to say that Will wasn't out there doing his thing. You know what I mean?
that's not it at all. If something goes down in your personal life, you do not owe any platform to go on TV and discuss it.
Okay.
That's a personal choice, and you need to be accountable to whatever feedback you get, be it positive or negative.
But she
That's
was
your
just taking a lot of blows. So okay, so Will got up and slapped Chris on the
yes,
stage. He got
yes,
up and slapped Chris. But
yes.
everybody was mad at Jada for that too. What Jada didn't slap nobody. Why was they mad at Jada? Why was y'all mad at Jada? If you was mad at Jada, say why would you mad at Jada? Why was folks mad at Jada,
Uh,
Tameka?
Perception is one hell of a drug.
Layla, that dog bad as hell.
Perception. I mean, I don't know if they think it personally, but Leela said, "Who slaps another man?"
I feel you. Like he got up and slapped
The
him.
opponent.
Dewana said she can't rock with Jada. She's still discussing situation she had with a dead man, and she's mad. They said the look she gave Will, like, "Are you going to do something?" She just looked. She did not make that man slap that man. It was. I wasn't mad until she said she should have had slapped. He shouldn't have slapped her after she appeared to laugh. Okay, so Mika said she was mad after she got up and made that damn comment talking about he shouldn't have slapped her. Like she shouldn't have said. Okay, I agree with y'all.
I,
Jada shouldn't have said nothing on that.
I'm not mad at all. I'm gonna tell you what though. The breadwinner is the person who slapped. Okay, and that's just wrong. It's just wrong. I mean, that slap, it's a slap that hurt around the world and his paycheck. I will tell you a good fact though, like a good fact. He just closed a $30 million deal with Netflix, and it's the largest one that someone has gotten for a documentary. In the midst of the slap.
Yeah, Portia said she feel like Will should have slapped Chris Rock long before he did. Hey, I ain't gonna lie, I'm with Portia on that. Like, I wish he wouldn't have done it at the Oscars. I wish he wouldn't have done it. But I do believe, and maybe y'all can say I ain't got no self control. Okay, I ain't got no self control. And people who know me know I might have some anger issues. But if you provoke me, you never know how I'm gonna respond. You never know how I'm gonna react. So if you provoke me, you don't know what you go get out of that. So hey, I hate to say it, but I'm with Portia. Portia said she think he should have slapped him before. He might have should have slapped him before because he had been disrespecting Jada for a long time.
Well,
Thank
John just sued his ex-wife, so I think that's probably what he should have did. It's
who did
called
what? Say that again.
he should have sued. That's what Johnny Depp did to his ex-wife. So there's ways around that because it costs you too much.
Sharonda said, I don't think that it was wrong for people to be mad at Jada for something her husband did. I think she should have kept quiet about it and let him speak on it. I agree with that. She probably shouldn't have, or not, she probably, I think that she should not have got up on a major platform and said he shouldn't have done that. That, you never divide with your other half in public, period, the end. You ride or die for that. I
Okay,
don't
in
have,
that case, she should have been quiet.
on what? The August situation with the entanglement?
He made the comment about both of them should get. They're both good men. They should come back together. They should work this out. That's what she said from the table.
No, I know. That's what I'm saying. I agree with y'all on that. I agree that Jada should have, not said anything against her husband slapping that man after it was all said and done. They had some underlying issue. I'm with Portia. I also wish that black men should step up for black women all the time. Yeah. Step up. I'm team black women or women, period.
I am team love. Okay, because there's a lot of people who are not married to people who are
Yeah.
considered.
Yeah,
So
you're right. I mean, I'm not married to somebody who's black. That's why I changed. Hey, this guy is out of control.
She didn't like what you said.
All right, we support everybody. God, Jada looked like she moves him with her pinky. I don't think that it costs Will anything. Will were to sit down with somebody on the show, everybody in America would watch it. Absolutely, absolutely.
well, I mean, I think that goes back to what we tolerate.
Yeah.
We have
Hey,
what
did
what
y'all have
what
a
did
good
they
time tonight?
say? Mental health though.
Hey, that's a topic for another day, but because I mean, we already know that that's something that we have to discuss. Mental health or something. I wasn't mad until she should have slapped her. Okay. Well, anyway, y'all have a good time tonight. I had a good time. I appreciate y'all for coming on and having a conversation tonight.
Yes.
I think what we came up with, y'all tell me if I'm wrong. At the beginning of the relationship, we need to establish what our intentions for dating is. That's upfront in a relationship, right? Sex can happen anytime as long as we continue to communicate.
It's
Lori
her
Harvey,
choice.
folks think that Lori Harvey was wrong because she knew she didn't want to be with him a year into dating. And I'm still Team Jada. Any anybody anybody got any old final thoughts, Tameka?
Okay, so I would like to tell everybody one of the things Warren Buffett is he's often quoted is everybody should have a home. What he's not quoted for that he says often is that you need to learn to communicate. And I think that this is a good platform because we are communicating, and that the one person you need to talk to the most needs to be yourself. Check in with you, get to how you feel first,
Hello.
and talk about it.
All right, Tameka. We toasting to that final word. Thank y'all for coming out. We'll be here again next week with a great conversation again next week, and I'm looking forward to hearing reading all of your comments. But until then, peace.
Good night. Have faith and take action.